The last flight of Flight 704.
The last fly of Flight 704. Disaster on Mexicana Flight 704 date, October 30, 1974. The time is roughly 8:50 local time. Location, Nuevo León, Mexico, near Monterrey and Saltillo Airplane Departure Origin, Mexico City International Airport, MEX. Monterrey's General Mariano Escobedo International Airport, MTY. As your final destination, the plane is a Boeing 727-64. Airplane registration, XA-SEL. Busts in silhouette. Occupants, 79, 72 passengers, 7 crew. 79 deaths, in total. CFIT, or controlled flight into terrain, is the type of accident. Weather, cloudy, rainy, and hard to see. One of Mexico's busiest air corridors, Mexicana Flight 704 was a scheduled domestic flight that took passengers from Mexico City to Monterrey. A Boeing 727-64, a trijet commonly used for short to medium-haul routes, was the involved aircraft. On the morning of October 30, 1974, the crew took off from Mexico City and proceeded toward Monterrey under Instrument Flight Rules, IFR, due to poor weather conditions near their destination. The crew was instructed to descend for approach into General Mariano Escobedo International Airport as Flight 704 approached Monterrey. However, instead of initiating the approach procedure precisely according to the instrument landing guidance and published approach charts, the aircraft descended prematurely and turned slightly off course. The aircraft collided with the Cerro del Fraile mountain, which is approximately 20 kilometers to the southeast of the Monterrey airport, at approximately 8:50 while making its approach to runway 11. At an altitude of approximately 5,950 feet, 1,814 meters, the impact occurred. There were no survivors when the aircraft hit the ground. The crew may not have been able to see the terrain until it was too late due to the mountainous terrain and low clouds and fog that obscured it. The official investigation came to the conclusion that the accident was caused by controlled flight into terrain, CFIT. The most important factors included: error in navigation. The flight crew deviated laterally from the correct path and descended too early during the approach phase. Negative weather. The surrounding terrain was obscured by cloud cover, rain, and poor visibility. There was speculation that the crew may have misinterpreted or misused the VOR/DME navigational aids, as well as failed to adhere to the required minimum descent altitude. Ground Proximity Warning System, GPWS, deficit. Because GPWS was not required at the time, the crew did not receive an automated warning of an imminent terrain impact. Since prominent political figures were aboard, some Mexican media sources at the time speculated about sabotage or political motives. However, the official investigation did not uncover any indications of wrongdoing. Carlos Madrazo, a prominent opposition politician in Mexico and the father of Roberto Madrazo, a potential presidential candidate, was notable among the passengers. There were many theories about how he died, but none of them were supported by evidence. In 1974, the crash was Mexico's worst air disaster and one of the deadliest in the country's history. During an approach through challenging terrain, it brought to light deficiencies in both terrain awareness and navigational oversight. Though it did not lead to immediate global regulatory changes, It added to the growing body of CFIT-related tragedies that would later push for mandatory ground proximity warning systems, GPWS, worldwide in the late 1970s and 1980s. A modest memorial was erected near the crash site to honor the 79